I guess last year you were one of the first people that told us about the mindset having to shift and the logo was on the field. I guess there's no logos around this time around. They know better.
Yeah, definitely none of that stuff around. One of the things that Coach Smart has been trying to instill in us is just understanding that a lot of things have been inherited so far. So we haven't earned anything this team particularly. So what are we going to do about it to earn it?
What have you seen so far through these first couple of practices, just with energy and how these first few practices have gone for the team?
Genuinely, I think they went really well. I'm seeing guys out there having fun, which is always a good sign. I'm seeing guys that are loving ball, young guys coming in, meeting extra. I see a lot of good things that I think that could help us, along the lines of the season.
Going back to when you were making a decision on coming back, what sort of went into the thought process and what ultimately made you decide you were going to come back for another year?
Love for the G.
One of the guys on Tuesday said that they see you as the piece this team needed. I mean, what's that kind of feel like to be that, the spokesman of the team, the leader of the team, whatever you want to call it?
Nobody's bigger than the team. Absolutely nobody. So to say that I'm the piece that can help this team accomplish anything is unfair to my teammates.
With the quarterback competition, obviously you guys have to replace Stetson and you being the starting center. There's rotation going on behind you. What are your conversations with Carson, with Brock in terms of helping them and getting them acclimated to possibly help this team?
Be themselves, honestly. I think that's the biggest thing. These are guys that we've all, been around. I've been around. I've taken reps with them at some point. So, honestly, it's nothing new. It's just a matter of making sure that guys are confident to go out there and play their game.
What kind of adjustment do you have to make as a center, having whoever winds up being a new quarterback that's not Stetson after playing with him the last few years?
To be honest, it's not that big of an adjustment. I think everybody's unique, though. Some guys may be louder, some guys may be taller, shorter. Some guys may have different preferences when it comes to points and different things like that. But it's all about relationships and knowing, who's behind you and who you're dealing with. So honestly, I feel like I have a pretty good relationship with all of those guys. So it usually doesn't come up as more so being able to dictate who's who in the heat of the fire.
What, if anything, has changed with Mike Bobo in his first two practices now being the offensive coordinator stepping in for Todd Monken?
That's a good question. First of all, I just want to thank Coach Monk of everything he's done for us. I think he's done a tremendous job of making sure that, we were in great positions to be able to win. And, he deserves everything that's coming to him, and I'm so happy for him that he's gotten that position. But I think Coach Bobo has done a tremendous job stepping in. I think he's given us a lot of energy. I think he knows what he's talking about. He has a lot of different things that he presents. And to be honest, it's been really, really fun just to kind of have this new challenge of these new people and this, really how we look at it, new offense, new team, and just kind of approaching it in a way that this is something new. So, how are we going to attack it and what are we going to do about it to make sure it's successful?
Why do you look at it as a new offense?
Just for the simple fact of there's a couple of new pieces, and every year is different anyway. Nobody has a guaranteed starting spot. Nobody has solidified themselves in this offense yet. So when you go to add all of those pieces and you have to add that chemistry, new offensive coordinator, you got to learn tendencies, what he likes to call different situations, things like that. So to an extent, it is a bit new.
What are your early impressions of Monroe, just what you've gotten to see from him?
I think he's really athletic, which really surprised me. I think a lot of times when you see taller, muscular guys, you may assume that they're a little bit stiffer, but honestly, he's a really, really good athlete. He moves really well, he runs well, cuts well. He does a tremendous job in the weight room. He's really strong. So I'm really proud of the work that he's coming and put in. Happy for him.
You talked about that message that things have been inherited and this team hasn't accomplished anything. Are there any differences to that message this year as opposed to last year when y'all were coming off the championship?
I mean, yes and no. It's the same concept, different delivery, if that makes sense. So it's the same concept, but last year it may have been that team did that. Those guys aren't here to help you. What are you going to do about it? As opposed to this year, those past two teams were special, and those guys made their mark. What are you going to do to make your mark? So same concept, but different delivery.
Sedrick, there was the guys that spoke the other day talked about the do it for Dev standard. They said that this is this is not forgotten. This is still a part of the team, the memories, the players honoring. I mean, how much of a presence is that? Is that like a daily awareness? Is that a motivator? Is it an honoring? Like, how would you put that into perspective? Because that seems pretty real when you were talking about.
It's definitely there. We just actually put a portrait up of him in the office and line room. So, that's a guy that I came in with. So it's tough. So you definitely want to make sure that you're taking advantage of those days.
Anybody else for Sedrick? All right, Sedrick, thanks, sir.
Thanks, Cedric.